So, when you think Tesla, what comes to mind? Sleek cars, right? Maybe some crazy battery tech? But what if I told you their real secret weapon isn't the car at all? It's the factory itself. Yeah, the building where they make the cars. Let's get into it.
See, the key to understanding Tesla's success, their real dominance, isn't just about what they're building. It's all about how they're building it. They didn't just decide to make a better electric car. No, they went way bigger. They've been reinventing the whole manufacturing playbook, starting from scratch.
And to really get why this is such a game changer, you got to understand the huge wall the entire car industry was about to hit.
It felt like it happened overnight. Suddenly, it seemed like everyone wanted an electric car. And this incredible global demand created this massive headache for manufacturers. I mean, the old way of doing things, it was just too slow, way too complicated, and honestly too expensive to have any chance of keeping up.
Now, this surge didn't just come out of nowhere. It was really fueled by three big things happening all at once. First, you've got this growing awareness about the environment, making clean transport a huge deal for millions of people. Then, governments got involved, right? They started offering incentives and putting in new rules that basically pushed everyone towards EVs. And finally, the tech itself was just taking these giant leaps forward. Batteries, software, it all got so much better and cheaper that EVs went from a niche idea to a really compelling choice.
Okay, so the world is screaming for more electric cars. How on earth was Tesla going to solve this massive production puzzle? Well, their answer came down to one word: Gigafactory.
And this right here, this is the core of their entire philosophy. Think about it. Other car companies are trying to shove all this new EV tech into their old existing factories. But Tesla? They realized that was never going to work. They had to completely rethink the factory from the ground up. The factory became the product.
And we're not just talking about building bigger buildings or throwing in a few more robots. No, this was a complete, fundamental shift in their thinking. They needed a whole new approach to change, a system that would let them innovate at literally every single step of the process.
You can actually break down their method using this simple but brilliant model. It's a three-step process. First, you unfreeze. For Tesla, this meant taking a hard look at the old ways of building cars and basically throwing them out the window. They questioned everything, like, hey, why does a car frame need 400 separate parts? Then comes step two, change. This is where they brought in the wild, revolutionary new ideas. And finally, step three, refreeze. They took these incredible new processes and locked them in, making them the new standard, the new normal for how a Tesla is built.
So, what does all that change actually look like on the factory floor? Well, the first huge innovation is something called Giga Casting. And trust me, it completely reinvented how they put the car's body together. The idea behind it is actually kind of beautiful in its simplicity. You know those little die-cast toy cars like a Matchbox car where the body is just one solid piece of metal? Well, Giga Casting is basically that, but for a real full-sized car. They use these absolutely enormous presses to stamp out huge sections of the car's frame in one single shot.
And the difference this makes, it's just staggering. Let's take the rear part of a car's frame. Traditionally, that can be made of, get this, hundreds of separate pieces of metal that have to be welded, glued, and screwed together by a whole army of robots. The Tesla way? One single piece. We're talking about going from hundreds of steps down to one.
The benefits here are just, well, they're enormous. First off, it massively simplifies everything on the factory floor. That, in turn, slashes production costs and makes the assembly line move way, way faster. And get this, it even has a smaller environmental footprint because it uses less energy and creates less waste. It's a win-win-win.
Okay, so simplifying the car's frame was a huge leap forward, but that was only half the battle. The other massive bottleneck holding back the entire EV industry? The battery.
So instead of being at the mercy of outside suppliers who just couldn't keep up with demand, Tesla did what Tesla does. They took control. They decided, you know what? We're just going to design and build our own. And the result is this, the 4680 cell. It's a bigger, way more powerful, and super efficient battery that they can make themselves right there in the Gigafactory.
So just how much better is it? Well, this one number pretty much says it all. 5 times. Each one of these new 4680 cells holds 5 times more energy than the old ones they were using. That's not just an improvement, that is a genuine quantum leap in battery tech.
Now, what does that actually mean for you, the person behind the wheel? Simple. It means more range. A lot more. A car with these batteries can go up to 16% farther on a single charge. And that, right there, tackles one of the biggest anxieties people have about switching to an EV.
So yeah, this battery is an absolute game changer. It gives you more driving range, the simpler design, and the fact that they make it in-house helps lower the car's price tag. It can charge faster because of how they handle the heat, and it even uses fewer raw materials, which makes it more sustainable. It hits every single mark.
All right, so we've got these two monster innovations, right? One for the car's body and one for its battery. Now let's put it all together, because this is where you see how this combination completely changes everything.
So let's recap the problem. Challenge number one for the whole industry, building an EV the old way was just way too expensive and incredibly complex. And Tesla's solution? Giga Casting. It just demolished the complexity, cut the costs, and sped up production time, all in one move. Boom, problem solved.
Okay, challenge number two, the massive supply chain bottleneck. Simply put, the world wanted way more EVs than there were batteries to power them.
And again, Tesla's solution was to take control. By making their own, better 4680 batteries in-house, they completely broke free from relying on other companies. They built their own pipeline, one that's ready for true mass production.
When you step back and look at the big picture, what Tesla's done is create something much bigger than just a car company. There's a quote from our source material that I think just nails it. They've created a model for balancing product, process, and organizational change. It's this perfect harmony between the thing they make, how they make it, and the company culture that pushes it all forward.
So by treating the factory itself as a product, Tesla managed to solve the biggest problems holding back the entire EV revolution. It's really a masterclass in manufacturing strategy. Which of course leaves us with one last, really exciting question. They've already reinvented the factory, so what on earth are they going to reinvent next?